Well, welcome to Worldwide Ramblings for a Saturday, the 20th of 21st of September 2024, the last day of summer. Fall is upon us. This is our second stream in order to get back on after the first one went off in over half an hour. I had to erase the current live stream, delete it forever to get back on. And when something like that happens, it pretty much kills the momentum, when it goes out. We have had more trouble with Spectrum Wi-Fi lately. I don't know what's going on, but when that happens in a live stream, I don't think I said anything to get myself taken off. We were talking about Wings of Pegasus, and uh, Cindy in South Louisiana is first to join us again. Katina Swatsworth, hello from Tulsa Town. Good to have you aboard. Deborah Lake as well, and Cheryl Larson. Neo returns, as does Ted Richards. Pamela Beecham. Hey, Jack. Hope you are well tonight. Yeah, I am. Thank you, Pamela. We had a stream and we lost it here on a Saturday night. And but people are returning and finding us, and that's wonderful. Patrick Files is here. Uncle Joe got you. Joe's sound asleep with his CPAP on, has been. um, but do remind me of something I want to talk a little bit about tonight when we talk about our 3 minutes of politics, when we go over that. Because Big Brother is certainly watching. Helen B is back. Ruthie is back. Judy Wright, not Betty Wright, the cleanup woman. She really cleans up. Trish Terry, glad you are back. Thank you, Darlene Koberstein, Marty Greco, Michael G. You had joined us late in the first attempt at Worldwide Ramblings for this Saturday night. Now, hello, replay crowd. If you're watching another time, you can comment, and we'll try to interact with you in your column in the replay. I don't know what to call it sometimes. I am a little spent because was out at Anthony Wayne Park near Bear Mountain, New York today for the Oktoberfest on the last day of summer. They moved it up and they moved it into a perfect day, just perfect New York early fall weather. Well, tomorrow will officially be fall. We consider, most of us consider Labor Day the last day of summer, and Memorial Day the first day of summer. Brenda is back, and hi, Bill Presley. Welcome. Hi, Jack. Still trying to get over oral surgery. Oh, dear. Still have to have more this coming week. Wow. Yeah, what about people that get all their teeth pulled to get false teeth, right? Jerry Bridges is here. Hello, Jack. Hope you are feeling well. Pretty good. Just a little tired tonight because when I do something like have to be at a 12:30 event, that means I'm moving faster than I usually do in the morning to leave the house by 11:30 to get down to Anthony Wayne Park. But it was well worth it. We joined our friends Sean and Norma and their relatives, Norma's mom and her cousin. So it was a special, special time with 18-time Grammy winner Jimmy Sturr. Tanya Sears is back. Cheryl Everhart. Faith Lloyd. Wow, that was weird, but glad you're back. I just wish I didn't have to erase what I had to get back on, but I didn't know how to cancel. It said we were still live, and obviously I can't start a second stream if it's saying we're still live. So there's probably some other method I'm supposed to be using I used to be able to save what we did and just do this as part two. but now it doesn't seem to let me do that. You missed the first part. Did I miss much? Well, I'll repeat, a little bit of it for you. Cheryl Larson is here, and um, Gail George is back as well. We might have lost Richard. I think he was mad that I didn't instantly begin a search on JFK Jr. I have done a video on it, and who knows? We can always ask Gene Ho if we get the opportunity about it. Doesn't mean I'll get an answer. Don't really expect one, but it's worth a try. It's worth a try. Let's just do the Wings of Pegasus. He has a successful channel here. Um, and that's his band. Should know his name. Sorry. I know it, but I've forgotten it, kind of thing. And a few years ago, he did a video on Pastor Bob Joyce and said that, he's been getting a lot of comments on how they would like him to cover the subject and what have you. And, do a serious study on it. And in the first few minutes of what could have been a multi-chapter video, so to speak, he just discounts the whole thing, says Pastor Bob Joyce doesn't look like him, doesn't sound like him. So we know what his voice analysis, and why stay for that when you already know the guy has made up his mind and is kind of sneering at the people that believe that Bob Joyce is Elvis. So, we won't waste our time on you. It's fine to have that opinion. But when you break every rule of a YouTube programmer and just insult your audience for even believing that, and you don't cover all the reasons that we state here, you don't deal with that at all, and you don't even think he looks like him or sounds like him, we know that your opinion is about as worth as much as rancid meat. So there you go. That's all I can say. He has a very nice voice, this gentleman, and a singing voice and talking voice. And I think he does work that is appreciated much by the musicians themselves. It wouldn't be for me. As I say, I was a disc jockey on the radio, and I consider myself having a radio ear, and I can tell when I'm hearing Elvis and when I'm not hearing Elvis, in my personal opinion. If you listen to the early version of He Hideth My Soul by Pastor Bob Joyce, you tell me. But he didn't do any of that. He just came on to do a sloppy disclaimer and throw what could have been a pretty good topic for him away. Voices change as you get older and what have you, and various people that do this kind of thing have differing opinions. So Wings of Pegasus, in my opinion, missed a grand opportunity there, and you got to go through the dozens of coincidences as well when you're going to make a determination of the possibilities that we speak about. And that's all I speak about are possibilities. I could be wrong about the whole thing. So Ron Starr's back. Tell me about Ron Starr TV Media. Jack, I think that music people now know how to cover up a bit and make things sound a little different. Yeah, they can certainly do a lot of things in a studio. You can make Billy Joel in a live concert, for goodness sakes, sound like he has a stronger, younger voice than he really does now. There's so many things you can do. And on television, they can put a filter on your face and you can look much younger than you really are. I know Valerie Bertinelli has done videos where she came on using a filter and she looked great. And she said people sometimes criticize her for that. She says, well, I'm going to take the filter off. And she did. And she did look older and what have you, but still beautiful, The sign of a beautiful woman is how beautiful they are when they're not wearing layers of makeup, you know. Katina says, I'll have to watch the rest in replay. I understand, Katina. We're getting late now. We started off and then got cut off. But I appreciate you popping on to say hi. Busy day tomorrow. Gotcha. Nevada geologist is here. Hi, everyone. Hi, Nevada geologist. I'd love to know what a little bit about you before, you're just going to disappear on me. I'd love to know what things you study and what you care about, what you'd like to share, that you're involved with. If you're retired, you may not be, pursuing a lot of different scenarios, so to speak, but love love to have an understanding of what's on your mind these days. Three Severed Heads, my favorite serial killer, hijack and all. Yoda Papa, Vintage Americana. Good evening. Well, that's a mouthful. And I know you've been here before, so welcome. I forget where you're from. Jody Smith joins us. Hi, Jack. The coincidences are too numerous. And you're right about the naysayers. So I don't think when you do studies on other people, including JFK Jr., you're going to come up with dozens and dozens and dozens of coincidences. But as our grand patriarch, Richard Lyon, says, he feels there's something to that story. And I'm not saying there isn't. I'm not saying there isn't. The border collies control me. I don't think so. You mean they know where you live? They know your computer address, and they're watching, right? Well, I don't know. Um, there must be something you could say that won't offend them, but it is so true what you say about the free speech thing. I saw an old tape of Kamala Harris from a few years ago. You know, compare what she's saying now to what she said in like 2019. And she was talking in a very detailed way about how we have to have rules for Facebook and Google, YouTube, and X, you know. Um, And what she's really saying is that we need to stop what we label as misinformation. That's how they will take your rights away. That's how they will take free speech away. The essence of America, to speak your mind. If you say something that is hurtful to them, it's labeled free speech, and they want to deplatform you, and eventually they want to put you in jail. I believe this week, and I heard people say it that I know are reputable. Apparently, Hillary Clinton said something like she feels, and she would have said this probably on MSNBC. She feels that people who give what she considers misinformation should be put in jail. Now, you almost want to give it to Hillary because she has been accused herself of misinformation thousands of times by Sean Hannity alone. So you can understand that she's sick of hearing about Benghazi and what she did with her emails on the computer, how she bitted all her information away, and that that it would be said by people in the know, including former FBI Director Comey, that what she did was basically illegal. But he didn't think a court would prosecute. So there you go. And Joseph R. Biden, our president, who seems to be who knows where, uh, he he was definitely committing a crime when, as a senator or a vice president, he had classified documents that he took, and some ended up in his garage with the Corvette. But it was felt by this person from the DOJ, who, remember, he's not the boss, this guy. He doesn't make the final decision. He has to consult the boss. Basically said, "Oh, he's so old and feeble, and made a lot of errors. Didn't know when he was vice president, and didn't know key events. He didn't know when his son died, when Bo died, and what have you. That he thought the court would never prosecute him." And obviously, there's the power of the pardon for the president. And can you pardon yourself? It seems like you can. And I'm not going to argue the power of the pardon for the president is absolute, because I think it should stay that way. They're trying to change everything. So what a mess! What a mess! Um, as Sean Hannity said this week, I don't think anybody can tell you for sure who's going to win this election. Um, there is a lot of signs that God is interested. God is interested. He's protected President Trump twice, and there's a lot of stories about that. And you know, the Electoral College comes into play, and Trump could get in that way, but w- we're not sure. We're not positive. There's so many forces that are trying everything they can to make sure Donald Trump does not become the 47th president of the United States. So we'll see. We'll see. 63 watching and 29 likes. And this is the second attempt at the Worldwide Ramblings for a Saturday night, the 21st of September. Yoda's making Elvis predictions. Jody Smith says, "It's just a rumor. I don't know if this is true." I'm always afraid to keep reading. But I heard he did some backup work for other singers much later after the supposed funeral. Yeah, there's a lot of talk about Elvis Presley possibly singing with Orion. It wouldn't be a surprise to me that on people that he cared about, that he did something on their album. Wouldn't be surprised at all. And probably is on more recordings than we realize in those years when there was a gap. I think Trump mentioned something about Elvis today or the other day during a rally. Yeah, he did. I don't think it was very significant. I did hear it, and it wasn't something I said, "Oh, wow." Um, people always think this heavy set guy with a big white beard and a baseball cap is Elvis at the rallies. They've also said that that Bob Joyce has been seen gardening at Graceland when it's the gardener that looks like, he's got the Kenny Rogers look. He's got the Kenny Rogers look. So there you go. Excuse me. That's right. You're reminding me, Ted Richards. DJT mentioned that he draws a crowd. What a crowd he drew at Nassau Coliseum. Thousands and thousands of people didn't get in. That was actually my first look at the new Nassau Coliseum. I was in the old one, but it only holds so many, and there were thousands that couldn't get in. They had a big screen TV out there outside of the arena, and President Trump was noting that. So yeah, he does it without a guitar. Elvis had a guitar. Of course, Elvis was not known for his guitar playing. He became a better keyboard player after a time, but he was known for his voice more than anything. So yeah, Trump draws wonderful crowds. He does. And Kamala is drawing better crowds than she used to, of course, but Trump is capable of he's capable of over 100,000. So he's not going to do another CNN debate. I think that's good. There's no point to that. You know, she won't do a debate on Fox. Her interviews will be very carefully crafted with friendly sources. I just don't know. There's so many things they're going to do. Even if he were to win on November 5th, I think they're going to try to keep him out of the office. I think they're going to try to keep him out of the office. Remember, on November 26th, he's got sentencing for the New York fiasco, where a bookkeeping error that with charges that were had run out, were no longer applicable, was turned into 34 current felonies. Ridiculous, ridiculous, ridiculous. So we've weaponized the DOJ, and so this election is the one. You know, I mean, Jesus is still on the throne. God is in control. But if we lose this election November 5th to the forces of evil, that's a sign that we are going to be going very quickly into the real bad part of the last days, the real bad part of it. You know, I mean, it'll mean that the opening up of the seals, as reported in the book of Revelation, is really not that far away. I'm not saying, it's right away. I'm just saying that, now that if we lose the November election, America is basically had it, and we're going to go into a form of socialism, their version of communism, where your rights are taken away. The economy will be spent into oblivion, which will be good for Xi, President Xi in China. But he will basically eat Kamala for lunch. And, that's the way it is. That's the way it's going to be. All we're really hoping for now is that Trump gets back into stop the bleeding for a while, to stop the bleeding so we can have more glory days for America. And if you're in your fourth quarter like I am, you'd like to see that. You'd like to see that. This whole thing that's going on with the media losing all objectivity and being like representatives of what I call it the former Democratic Party, because it was stolen by the progressives. It's the progressives now, the progressives versus the Republicans, and they will stop at nothing. So we'll see. We'll see. I just don't get too concerned about it. First of all, I believe God is in control. I also know God says he won't be mocked, and he's definitely being mocked right now. So I think that he may be ready to make some strong points before this year is out. So we can only hope for that. We can only hope. Jody says, I believe God is going to intervene, but I believe he's going to do it indirectly, so to make it seem more natural instead of forced. You know what I mean, Jack? I can understand what you're saying. 3 severed heads. Well, the Euphrates has as good as dried up the river. More people are hearing weird sounds in the sky, and that's all in the Bible. John Udison says, first time watching live. Well, hi, John. Welcome. Found you 3 days ago. He lives. Well, Jesus Christ lives. I think that's the most important thing, because we're all going to die. It's not that the earth is going to disappear like they try to tell you with global warming. That doesn't mean we can't do some things to improve our atmosphere. I'm all for that. I'm just not for forcing people to do things that you think will have a bigger result than it's actually going to have. Uh, so, oh, one screen went dark over there, went back to the regular screen, and I don't see the live button. Yes, I do. We're live, right? This goes again. I've done my best. 79 watching, 38 likes. Please hit the subscribe button, the like button, and the notification bell. And there's a thanks button there. If you can hit that for $2, $5, $7, it's a credit card kind of thing. $10, whatever you feel. If you've been blessed and like what we do here, that would be much appreciated. That helps us for our October total that we're working on now, and helps me keep my focus here instead of worrying about how I'm going to deal with retirement income, which includes a pension that is small. And I'm not the only one drawing off my pension. There's my first wife, Jose, hello. Greetings from the Netherlands. Well, that is so cool. Yeah, I can't even really fathom it. Uh, Jose or Josie. It could be either one, really, but it's probably Jose. Think we've heard from you before, right? Think so. Uh, Vera Regaldo is here. Thank you. And that's Helen B. addressing her. You are closing in on 9,000 subs, Jack. Oh, I can't eat that many subs. Maybe in my lifetime I had 9,000 subs. I've had hundreds. I know that. Yeah. I'll even go to Jersey Mike's. If you can't get to real New York deli, real East Coast deli, go to Jersey Mike's, I would say. That would be my choice. I think that Danny DeVito's got the right idea there. Wow, Cindy in South Louisiana, thank you for hitting the thanks button. I appreciate that so much. For $9.99, it especially helps on a night like this when the first stream gets knocked off the air, and I have to erase it in order to get the other one started. To get back on. I just didn't see any other option because it was indicating that I was still live. And when it does that, I can't go live on another stream. So the only thing I could do was make it private and then hit the delete forever button. So although we were kind of on a roll in the first part of that stream, it's gone forever. Gone forever. It's out there somewhere, though. Maybe the astronauts stuck until February. Can someone explain this to me? Because, the news media, including Fox, never explains to me why it takes till February to get these people back. I don't understand that. How many miles are involved? Something came back to Earth without them, right? It didn't take months and months to come back. What's going on here? I know there was talk of the Russians rescuing them and that we didn't want that. Oh, yeah, because they got such great attitudes. Well, she could end up pregnant. Okay, I said it. You know, um, they probably don't have all that much to eat and stuff, and they're real professionals and they're being cool about it. But, at some point she could have anxiety. He could have anxiety and they could want to get out of there. And you can't tell me, oh, let's just say NASA's great when they've got astronauts stuck out there till February. No Christmas for them, no Thanksgiving, no nothing. They're stuck out there, but isn't NASA great? I don't think so. I don't think so. You know, I think there's some holes in that system, I understand it's just, if you send out a bunch of spaceships, we learn new things. Hopefully, one's going to blow up eventually with the astronauts in them. I understand it's just a risky business, but I can't understand why it takes to February to get these two astronauts home. Can anyone explain? How about you, geologist? I mean, that's close enough, right? Hi, Christopher. How are you, by the way? Forgot to say hello to Christopher. And people saying hello to Jose. I look forward to your show every week. Well, thank you, Cindy in South Louisiana. Thank you very much. Wasn't that a pretty picture of you there? We see you. We see you. Your little picture. Love being here with all of you. Pam Donnelly is here. She has returned for stream 2. Joe Worrell. Heard from Joe this week. Hey, Jack, God is good. Vote Trump. Trust God. Yes, early voting has started, right? Gotta play the game, as Sean Hannity would say. It's not the game that we want, but it's the game that we're stuck with this time around. I'd like to go back to paper ballots too and all that. I just can't believe it when they say, "Oh, you don't need a vote." I mean, you don't need an ID to vote, but you do to get a pack of cigarettes. Come on, what are we doing here? They will fine you. The police will come in and fine a convenience store if they can catch you selling cigarettes to minors. But when you go in to vote for an election as important as this, oh no, not necessary. There's so many things. So many bad representatives. What's her name? The former governor was on the stand again. Jennifer Granholm. Am I saying that? Granholm, whatever her name is. She is not fit to be the energy secretary. Biden just picked one bad choice after another. One bad choice. I can't wait till he is bye. I'm glad that what Jill Biden thrust on this country was finally rejected by even the progressives that she was, trying to line up with at the expense of America. Oh, I just never thought I'd see something like this. It's like a movie. It's like a very bad movie. So thank you, Cindy, and thank you, Sammy, for hitting the thanks button in stream 1. That should register, Sammy. You'll know if it does. 37 Head says, I agree, Jack. Since the moon landing almost 60 years ago, we haven't progressed hardly at all. Well, I don't know that because, of course, I don't know all the details. I know that we do seemingly incredible things, but the long range benefits of all this, when the country is so dirt broke and the progressives are trying to spend the great grandkids' money and try to tax you in ways you can't even imagine. Remember, those that say they're for democracy aren't. Those that say the Republicans are, we can't have a Republican win because we are trying to uphold democracy, are the very people that want to cancel your free speech and social media, take away your assault weapons and what have you, when the problem is mental illness and letting people that are mentally ill have guns. But here's the deal. No matter what you do, there's millions and millions of guns, more guns than people out there. And we're not going to, get them out of the hands of someone who's mentally ill, who wants that gun. He's going to find it. The horse has left the barn. The horse has left the barn. So we're hoping to have, hi, Shell. Welcome. We're hoping to have Gene Ho on for an interview talking about his new book, America in a Flash. Watch our new video that has a picture of the cover of Gene Ho's book, America in a Flash. Bob Joyce talks about, Gene Ho talks about Bob Joyce in his new book. He has a whole chapter on Bob Joyce. Gene Ho sent me a portion. I don't think he sent me the whole chapter of the Bob Joyce chapter in America in a Flash. stories from life leaders. Don't know who the other life leaders are that he is mentioning, but we'll find out soon. Patrick Wilburn is here saying good night, all peace and love. Sorry if I didn't find you sooner. Sometimes I do miss people, but thank you, Patrick. I really appreciate you being here. Angelo is here. Hi, welcome, Angelo. Where are you watching us from? Greg Atkins, my buddy. Wings of Pegasus is a joke. I don't know. I don't want to say, I don't want to brand everything he does as bad. I'm not a musician. I, don't play any instruments or anything like that. But to me, he really blew an opportunity with the Bob Joyce topic. And these guys want you to believe that what they say is gospel. And, you never begin a video and basically mock the people that have been waiting for you to do this topic. You mock them in the first 5 minutes, so they're going to leave, Pretty much they can ascertain you're not going to be a fair judge. Kathleen Wiedenbacher is here. And welcome, welcome, welcome. She's been with us for a long time. She says, hi, Jack and the family. Hello, family. We have 60 watching right now, 47 likes. Thank you, Selena B, for hitting the Cash App. That's another way to support what we do here. Last Saturday night was, it was a magical live. It did very well with the views. Check that out from last Saturday. That would be on the 14th. The 14th. They can't all be that good, but it was just one of those times. Yeah, P. Diddy's going down. I mean, I know it sounds weird when I say I feel bad for him, because I can imagine what a horror it must be for someone that has known the opulent lifestyle to be in solitary confinement in one of the worst jails in New York City, I'm not big on solitary confinement unless it's absolutely necessary. They would say it's necessary for a number of reasons, because someone would try to kill him and what have you. And but even if it is solitary, I would think that because that you are supposed to have more humanity than P. Diddy had, you're supposed to have more, that you would want him not to feel like he's a rat in a cage. I know most of you won't agree with me at all on this, but that's the liberal part of me, is that I don't believe prisons should be nightmares to work in or to serve your time in, but they constantly, they constantly are doing that to their enemies. How many people from the Trump administration have been thrown into jail for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months? Steve Banning is in there right now. Steve Bannon is in there right now and should be getting out in October. I listen on WABC on Sunday afternoons sometimes to Roger Stone. He did a spell in prison. He was pardoned by President Trump. And did he do some time? I think he did. He ended up with a 3-hour show on WABC Sunday afternoons, WABCradio.com, 3 to 6 p.m. East Coast time. It's pretty good. He has some good guests on, too. So that's what they're doing. Marlene Wilson from South Carolina. Hi. Welcome, Marlene. Kris Jenner and Kim Kardashian. What about them? I don't think they've been in the pokey, have you? Have they? Sometimes I come into the middle of a conversation. So I heard that Kamala's interview with Oprah didn't go that well, but it's getting really hard for me to watch Kamala at all. I just get this feeling of disgust in my gut, and it's just better for me if I don't watch. So, even Fox News will cover a bit of a Kamala Harris um, rally, and I just say, I could be doing something better with the time than hearing her nonsense. So I end up, and I bet you Fox notices a dip when they do that. I mean, there's enough channels covering her, and saying glowing things and abandoning any form of journalism and becoming uh, very biased, evil in my estimation, cheerleaders for the Progressive Party. And it was just 3 months ago when nobody wanted Kamala Harris. Nobody. No one's ever cast a vote for her in terms of president or vice president, of course. And so now, of course, they have, she's the one. You got to go with her. So they are, pouring in, they'll pour in $1 billion trying to get her elected. And they have tricks, even if Trump wins in the Electoral College. They're just say, we can't allow a convicted felon. I don't know what the judge is going to do based on the Supreme Court ruling on presidential immunity, but they want to be able to label him. Look, he's a convicted felon. He's charged with more felonies. Doesn't matter that they're all BS. Um, so we can't allow that. We can't allow that. And if he should make it into the presidency on day one, the likes of Joaquin Jeffries, who says, we've got to stop the MAGA Republicans. This is why Trump's life is in jeopardy, because they're comparing him to Hitler and what have you. And in reality, they are Satan themselves. They are Satan pointing. It's like them pointing to Jesus and saying, there's the evil one, when really they are the personification of evil. No scruples whatsoever, in my humble opinion. Nobody's going to listen to me. I'm just a little guy. But the big guys are saying this. And of course, I don't know how long they'll get to say it for. I don't know. Try to not cast. Yeah, that's a little better for my pictures. You can see Rush Limbaugh now, the great late Rush Limbaugh, Pastor Bob Joyce on the cover of George magazine. Karen and I. In 2010. Yeah, we've been together 14 years now. Karen on top there. And on the other side, we have Elvis with his pink Cadillac. I have the throw blanket to this image, but you never see the Cadillac because it's way down at the bottom of the throw. And Elvis Presley and some young girl that was in Germany when he was. Some people say it's Walina. Then we have Kate Jackson and Nancy Barrett from their Dark Shadows days. Nancy lives out in Phoenix, Arizona now. She's 80, going on 81, and Kate Jackson is 75 years old, who I may see on October 26th at Chiller Theater in Parsippany, New Jersey. Several of the Dark Shadows people will be there. Of course, Kate did a whole lot more than Dark Shadows. She went on to be in a nighttime show, The Rookies. I saw her there as a young lad. And then Charlie's Angels and The Scarecrow and Mrs. King and many movies. Kate Jackson will be at Chiller Theater Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the last Friday and Saturday and Sunday in the month of October in Parsippany, New Jersey. Yeah. So Pam Donnelly is at her Equinox party. What's happening at the party? Is it getting a little racy, Pam? What's going down? Are those rays or whatever? Are they making people, you're not finding that anyone is turning into a werewolf, are you? I don't think it's a full moon. Is an equinox mean a full moon? I don't really know. I have a GED. What do I know about these things? Stork Deliveries ×2 is still with us. So that's good. Pray, pray, pray as hard as we can. This country needs it badly. It definitely is warranted that we pray about this. Um, Marlene says she has a clown personality, but she's different now because they are containing her. They're writing her words for her, keeping her away from hostile interviewers, and she's reading off a teleprompter when she does her rallies, so she appears more intelligent. But anytime she has to answer off the cuff, she has no real plans at all, and she gets exposed for that. She gets exposed. She talks, about her childhood. She doesn't answer the questions. She just ignores the question totally, and they let her get away with it. Oh, so much money wasted. Just think about this, in the Ukraine. Um, what is it? $2 billion in the Ukraine. I can't remember now. And what have we got? Basically, a bombed out shell. People still thinking that you can win a war against Vladimir Putin. No, you've got to use the power of. It's called verbal judo. Verbal judo. I learned this when I was in school teaching me well, I was going to pretend to be a peace officer for 19 years, but they didn't know that. They thought I was really into this law enforcement thing when I'm just not cut out for it. I had to fake my way through for 19 years. But they did the verbal judo class was very good because it teaches you that the best weapon you have is your mouth to tone things down and what have you. But it also can be used to BS people, and there's a lot of stupid people out there. Is it more than 50% of the people that will go to the voting booth or vote early? I don't know. I don't know. And what tricks are going to be in play? Too big to rig is a real thing. You want to have so many people voting for Trump that they can't stop it. They can't stop it. But then they'll try to stop it post-election. And then on his first day, they'll file an amendment to impeach him. Whether they'll have the votes for it or not, I do not know. If if we can get back the House and the Senate, that's a wonderful thing. That's a wonderful thing. I would love to see God do something extraordinary in this time. Are we deserving of it? No, no. It would have to be an act of grace and an act of Him wanting to preserve the future of, it's not just the country, it's the world. What happens in America affects the world, and there's all kinds of things going on in other countries as well. Marlene feels that she wore an earpiece. I haven't heard too much more about that, but then again, Marlene, I haven't been watching as much because it's just so depressing. If I don't watch her rallies, I don't want to tune into uh I don't know, Jesse Waters or Sean and hear parts of her rally. I already know what she's full of. I already know it. So, and the people that are watching Sean and Jesse and what have you, it's kind of the choir, right? He's preaching to the choir. Um, if you're an undecided voter with this kind of a paradox, with these kind of extremes, you are not a smart man. You are not a smart woman. You'll probably stay home. You'll probably stay home because there'll be a marathon of the Beverly Hillbillies or something, or Law and Order or something. You, I don't understand people that say, "Oh, I haven't made up my mind yet." Really, we've got someone who wants to destroy America. If you really pay attention and see what this person is for, and someone that already has a track record of making America prosper, who happens to be, I think, a lot more qualified than he was in 2015 and a lot more mature. Doesn't mean he Trump is Trump. He's going to open up his mouth sometimes. Someone said, we noticed that you tend to make up with some of the people and you talk to them again and what have you. And he said, yeah, if I didn't, I'd have nobody to talk to, because even people that are the biggest Trump supporters right now are not long term. I mean, you can find tape of them saying really bad things about Trump. But he convinced a lot of people after his first year in office that he was the real deal and that he was was being a very good president, good for the economy. He's not for a national abortion ban. This could be the thing that gets us, though. This could be the thing. I don't know about states that make no exceptions, even if the mother's life is in danger. And I'm totally against abortion, but what? Kamala's out there and she's using this. The woman's bleeding in the car, and the doctor's afraid to bring her in and do anything because he could be charged and stuff like this. That's the kind of talk that, a lot of women hear, and they are going to hold Trump, uh, accountable for it. The abortion issue could send us into having a leader for this country that would totally destroy our freedoms, our Constitution. We'd look like idiots in front of our enemies, so they would take advantage of that. Of course, Putin liked Trump, even though he put sanctions on him and stuff. They got along real well. But now he says he's for Kamala because he knows he can be like a steamroller baby. He can be a steamroller baby. He's gonna roll all over her. Yes, he will. Yes, he will. So, yeah, I'm not surprised to hear that. God's will be done. God's will be done. But yeah, I'm all for what you're saying about praying about this election and trying to be more inclined to want to do things God's way in each of our individual lives, which has always been very hard for me, especially when we talk about that word consistency. Consistency. Some of them do consider themselves religious. Isn't that silly, Jody? My God. Uh, Yet they are causing all these criminalities. There's a word, if you know what I'm saying, Jack. Sure. Yeah. You know, they are, about serious about following faith. And what faith is that? If they're following darkness, well, then, you know, then I guess they're right on the money. Ron Star TV Media is Kamala supporter, I guess, right? Am I getting that right? This is the United States of America, and it's your right to do that. But since our whole country is on the line here, the future of America, Kamala Harris is about as deserving as being the next president of the United States as I am as being the spokesman for Gold's Gym. You know what I mean, Angelo? Going to be ugly in November like January 6th. Boy, I wish Trump would have never held a rally that day. He said march peacefully and patriotically. But of course, a small portion decided to breach the Capitol, and that gave them red meat. Even though if Nancy Pelosi and Mayor Bowser had just responded to President Trump's request that his offer to give them National Guard troops, they would have been able to contain. I think that it's like they wanted something to happen. I've said that before. It's just a mess. This is why I watch. And of course, Mark Levin had surgery this week on his knee. He took a fall. But that's not the only thing wrong with Mark Levin, because he had mentioned in the past that this booster shot, just saying his experience, Mark Levin has said this on his own programs, the booster that he got seemed to have a negative response and cause him have a little trouble breathing. So I've been very worried about Mark Levin. Keep Mark in your prayers. We need him. We need Rush, and we don't have them. But thank God we have Clay and Buck. They're wonderful. But as Buck Sexton said, if we are foolish enough to elect these two jokers as our president and vice president, we will get exactly what we deserve. I need a cod sandwich. Well, you know what you're doing to me when you mention cod sandwich. I'm thinking of Culver's. I'm looking up and seeing a picture of the Culver's Cup. I think I took two pictures, one in front of Culver's, and hopefully I'll get out to see my son, and that will lead to me having some more cod sandwiches from Culver's. I got to go to Virginia to find one, I think. There's none close by. There just isn't. So today we had that lovely experience. It was one of those New York almost fall days that are just absolutely wonderful. New York and New England would have them too. Uh, Perfect temperature, sunshine, and we went down to the Anthony Wayne Park near Bear Mountain. It's the first exit as you come past the traffic circle from the Hudson Valley, exit 17, either way, whether you're coming towards the traffic circle or just past it off the Palisades Parkway. And Anthony Wayne Park is wonderful. They'll be having other bands there for the next few weeks, including a big band called The Beat next Saturday, I believe, weather permitting, I guess. And so we were treated to Jimmy Sturr. In order to get this gig, had to agree to 5 hours. Now they take breaks, and so they're not going to be on the stage for 5 solid hours. But they were all exhausted after this show. Chris Caffrey was there from the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, lead guitarist, lead man for the East Coast version of the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Yes, there are two versions. There's the West Coast and the East Coast version. And let's see here. I thought I had, or maybe it's on my page. And how do I see it? I just have to go to what? Well, I'll just show you this picture. It's got me there looking down because I don't think I'm on camera. But Karen with Chris Caffrey, the front man for the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. In November and December, they play 60 shows, 2 shows a day. They've got many tour buses and many tractor trailers. And they fill these big arenas and what have you 2 times over a day. And I don't know how this will. When I try something live, I usually regret it. And sometimes I get the sweet spot, and there it is. Good. I'm hard to see, but you can kind of see Karen and Chris Caffrey. I'll get a Google photo of that and show it properly in the future. So got a little knockwurst and a big pretzel, and we got a little bit of hard cider and a really cool cup, Oktoberfest cup. Whereas my friend Sean had big steins of beer. He wasn't going to be doing any driving. His wife would be doing the driving. Ted Richards loves the cold. Well, I don't mind it every once in a while, but I don't want a whole winter worth of it. 64 degrees here in Canada. We're having pollen here tomorrow. It says, it's not giving me a temperature reading. 55 degrees here. 55 right now. Donald Trump gets swing state warning from leading conservative news paper. this new service that I have here always tries to play down any success uh, uh, Trump has, and try to always put a negative spin on anything orange, man. So I don't pay much attention to them. Cindy's ready for the cold weather because she has had one heck of a hot summer. One heck of a hot summer. There's another storm forming in the Gulf of Mexico. I love the sun, but not all year round. You're talking about that burning sun. Hi, John Jeffries. Sorry I was away. My daughter was getting married. Cool. That's nice. I remember my daughter's wedding. Deborah Lake saying good night. Thank you for stopping by. And our second stream here, the first one is gone forever, unfortunately. I had to do that to get the second stream up. Yeah, well, that's a special time, John. That's a special time. I hope she picked the right guy. That's so important. So important. Yeah, we certainly need to keep President Trump in prayer. It seems like he has God's favor. And, how do you explain, access from the road? These are things you just don't understand. Access from the road, you just got to walk down a ways and you'll be at a fence where with a long range weapon you could kill the former president of the United States at the fifth hole. They say paparazzis often go there to take pictures. How do you explain not having multiple men uh, in that area? You know, how do you do that? How do you not have multiple Secret Service or local law enforcement covering that area so no one could be there for 12 hours waiting for him to show up? It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It's as hard to believe as not having somebody on the roof um, that day in Butler, Pennsylvania. These are things that are just they're unfathomable. Thank you so much, John Jeffries. 1999 on the thanks button. You're joining two others tonight. Um, and if someone sends $2 or $1 or $5, I'm just as thrilled. Don't get me wrong; it helps me the bigger it is. But I'm so happy to have that. That helps me with the October. We're behind for the month of October. I haven't started this top 50 Elvis thing yet because, well, the Gene Ho thing came up. I needed to cover that, and it's been a little bit of a little bit of a struggle to get into the groove of it. I think I've never had this much trouble getting into the groove of something. So that makes you ask the question, should I even be doing it, or should I go in a different direction? I know people want to hear about the pastor, but I think it's just that and now I've got something else I need to work on using this very microphone here, and also using Andy, because I talked to Jimmy Sturr today. Oh my goodness, Jody Smith! I knew that was coming to tell you. I have like mental telepathy when it comes to Jody Smith, and I thank you so much. Thank you, John Jeffries. Thank you, Sam Sammy from earlier. Thank you for the Cash App tip, Selena B. That was this week on the Cash App. The number was 777. Oh, I love that number, 777. Imagine if everybody gave 777, but $2 is great too. Don't get me wrong. I'm surprised every time it happens. And but the Cash App is Media Guy 56, MEDIAGUY. That's all lowercase. Media Guy, the number's 56, Media Guy 56. And that's when you link up your checking account to that. You can use it to send money to your loved ones. They can send money to you back and forth and what have you. And that's very, very helpful. So thank you for that, Selena, for hitting Media Guy 56. Thank you for the thanks button, people. Uh, thanks for the kisses, John. 19.99 and $2 from Jody Smith. That helps me because anytime we have to come back with a second stream, we've lost momentum. We've lost momentum. We've lost some people that aren't going to come back to say, oh, well, that's good for tonight. And then, but there's my replay crowd. If you don't see the thanks button in your video, you can just go to another recent video and find the thanks button there, and you can hit that, and it all goes into the same pot for the month of October. For the month of October. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for those that hit the thanks button or the Cash App, which is Media Guy 56. Almost midnight here. Almost midnight. So it's just a magical day. I can't say anything better about it. I wish we could have got Marianne Rossi to come on up, or Nancy DeMarco, because they're in the area. They would have had a wonderful time, I think, at the Oktoberfest on the last day of summer. But there's plenty more coming up. Jimmy has another Oktoberfest, October 13th in Greenwood Lake, New York. There's a short video of me in Greenwood Lake when the Bunker Boys were there. Bunker Boys will be in Fishkill, New York on Sunday. I think Sean and Norma are thinking of going, but I don't think we'll make that one. We like the Bunker Boys, but I think tomorrow is going to be a day of a little bit of shopping, and then I got to work on this Jimmy Stir project because I may get to do like a little secondary voice for Jimmy Stir spots when his other guy is busy or what have you. I noticed that Jimmy was starting to voice some of his own spots. So I said to him today, Jimmy, I noticed that your regular guy, and I mentioned who that is, that he's not voicing your current spots. Something going on there? He says, well, I can't say what he said because that's private. But anyway, he said, oh, yeah, you do that too. Well, send me something. So I'm going to send him something. That would be cool. That would be cool. I'm not looking to replace anybody. I'm just looking to be a second go-to guy if there should be a need. I'm just looking at your comments here. Sometimes I miss a good one. Shell still thinks Elvis is watching. I can't disagree with that, Ron Starr. It is appointed a man wants to die, and then the judgment. I'm just going back now to more recent comments. Shell loves the fall. I do too. And then I'm ready for spring right after fall is over. You can even give me 2 weeks of winter in December, the last 2 weeks, but no snow on Christmas Day, so we're gonna have clear roads. And the day before Christmas, really, I guess Christmas week, because people are traveling and they don't want delays in their flights and what have you. Thank you, Jody. And then it's I think it's the same one that prints twice sometimes. I'm not so sure. I'm never sure, but it looks to be because the same amount of likes, and I don't know for sure. Thank you, Jody Smith, for hitting the thanks button. What's up with you, Greg Atkins? Has anyone seen the Spa Guy new video? It's called Discussion of Elvis Funeral. As one man has on a man that worked at the funeral home. Yeah. Well, I guess I will look for it. I kind of know what angle he takes these days, or has taken it for years. I don't have much to say about the Spa Guy. We have a video up that says maybe Spa Guy went to the wrong Bob Joyce's house. I'm not saying he did, but There was no way Spa Guy was going to get an exclusive interview by knocking on the pastor's door. I'll give you this much. The fact that he answered the door himself was surprising to me. So, yeah. But I'll look for that, Greg. So I thank you. I thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. So there's much more, and we'll see. I'm looking for an update on if someone could email me at jackthefairguy, Fair, jackthefairguy@gmail.com if you know about how's the work going at the new barn on the 9 acres of land up outside of Benton, Arkansas. Have they put it into high gear or not? Is there a chance that church could be ready by Christmas or not? I'd love to know an update on that from someone who actually goes to Household of Faith, or someone that's all posting, that's fine too, on perhaps the Bob Joyce official or what have you. Just seems to me that is doable. So I hope that, the church should be able to do what the world could easily do. That's just the way it is, right? If they can put up a Dollar General in 2 months, a whole Dollar General, a whole Cumberland Farms, Stewart's, they go up so fast. I can't believe it. Sometimes I say, when did they start building there? And then the next thing I know, they're open. Wow. Because there's a major space problem, at Household of Faith. There just is. Yeah, he never shows his face, Marlene Spa Guy, You're right about that. Well, that's his prerogative, though. Thank you, John Jeffries. I don't know sometimes what my opinion is. But it's just such a mixed up, crazy world now, You see the difference. And that's why I just do not understand old Democrats that would be for Kamala Harris. You'd think they would have enough integrity to say, and many of them have said, no, I'm not I'm the party left me. That party that's calling themselves Democratic right now, or progressives, that's not my party. No, I don't support Kamala Harris, and it's easy to vote for Trump now, because one person will set the country back on the right course, and the other will just pulverize the country into the ground, economically, spiritually, every way you can imagine. You can't say you're for democracy when you want to force people to drive electric cars, censor free speech, and not have an honest debate about the election. Only talk to friendly press that are in your pocket. It's just crazy. We are a republic. I want us to stay that way, John. I know that the evildoers are going to win out. You pretty much see that in the scripture, that the evildoers are going to win out, and then God will have the final say. God will have the final say. So thank you for those who hit the thanks button. And this will be one of those videos that doesn't get the hits it could have got if we didn't get cut off. It's just the way it is. Things happen in life, though. You can't expect there to be everything to run smoothly all the time. But you came back, and I'm so appreciative of that. Sometimes we don't think God is good. Sometimes we don't think he's even around. But we can't give in to those vain imaginings. Psalm 107 in the NIV says, "Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever." forever. We need forever. Let the redeemed of the Lord say this: those he redeemed from the hand of the foe, those he gathered from the lands, from east and west, from north and south. Some wandered in desert wastelands. Oh, I've done a lot of wandering in the desert wastelands, finding no way to a city where they could settle. They were hungry and thirsty, and their lives ebbed away. Then they cried out to the Lord in their trouble, and he delivered them from their distress. Always remember, he delivers on his timetable, not ours. He led them by a straight way to a city where they could settle. Let them give thanks to the Lord for his unfailing love and his wonderful deeds for men, for he satisfies the thirsty and fills the hungry with good things. Some sat in darkness and the deepest gloom, prisoners suffering in iron chains, for they have rebelled against the words of God and despised the counsel of the Most High. So he subjected them to bitter labor. They stumbled, and there was no one to help. Then they cried out to the Lord in their trouble, and he saved them from their distress. He brought them out of darkness and the deepest gloom and broke away their chains. Let them give thanks to the Lord for his unfailing love and his wonderful deeds, for he breaks down gates of bronze and cuts through bars of iron. Some became fools through their rebellious ways and suffered affliction because of their iniquities. They loathed all food and drew near the gates of death. Then they cried to the Lord in their trouble, and he saved them from their distress. Part of Psalm 107. In other words, they turned from their wicked ways. If you're still breathing, you still have a chance to turn from your wicked ways. And all will be forgiven. All will be forgiven. Good night, Marlene. Thank you. Cheryl Larson, thank you, Jack. Glad you came back. Ted Richards, thank you for joining us, Jack. God's got his own reasons why he helps out some people and not others. True. It's his reasons to know why and ours to wonder. Yep, or just leave it at the cross. Leave it at the cross. Thank you, Ted Richards. Thank you so much, John Jeffries, and all of those. Christopher, unconditional love. That's right. That's true. Unconditional love. Cindy would like to stay on till 5 a.m., but I don't know, Cindy. I don't think I've quite got that in. But we'll do pop on to pop off soon. I promise you that much. We'll do one. You won't have to wait till like Thursday to hear from me again. We'll be on way before then and in different time slots. I know that you're working your job during the day. And I also know that you probably had your MRI by now. Thank you for stopping, Greg. And Kara is here. Hi, Kara. Coming in late for this one. But there's the replay. And the first attempt, which was half an hour long before we got cut off, had to be erased because it wouldn't let me go live in a second stream because it indicated I was still doing one. It's a confusing thing that's been happening. But we always hope that we will get through a stream with not losing the signal. That's important. Thank you, Cheryl Larson. Thank you, everybody. Here's Kim Lackey. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you, Kim. I know you're joining late, or at least it seems that way. And thanks. Thank you, John Jeffries. Good stuff. So we've got more of the story to tell, and we will, right here at the Virtual Church of the Disillusioned. Please hit the subscribe and like button and the notification bell. Good night, everybody.